Okay, so this will be the second set of the video lecture, which is on the external anatomy of farm animals. So, yan. Again, pag sinabing external anatomy of farm animals, yung nasa labas, okay, yung nakikita mo, kahit hindi mo kinakat open yung body ng animal, basta lahat ng mga parts na nasa labas, those are the external anatomy. Okay? So, yan yung outline natin. Basically, ano ba yung definition and purpose ng bakit ba important yung external anatomy, and then we have the general regions of the body. Then, ipapakita ko lang sa inyo and yung external anatomy ng mga cattle, ng pig, ng goat and sheep, ng mga poultry natin. Mas ma-appreciate ninyo yung external anatomy nila if it is an actual. So I do hope sa laboratory lectures ninyo or exercises ninyo ma makakandak ninyo ito. And then we will be discussing anatomical planes and directional terms in farm animals, and then importance of knowing external anatomy. So those are the outlines of the of our discussion. So first, on the definition and purpose, when it comes to external anatomy kasi, again, these are the visible. Pag sinabi kasing visible, ito yung mga nakikita. Okay? Nakikita ng mata. Pag sinabi namang palpable, ito yung mga nafe-feel or na hahawakan mo. Okay? Sa body ng isang animal. So this includes yung mga regions of the head, dito yung head, yung neck dito sa part na ito, yung trunks dito sa part na ito, yung limbs mo dito sa part na ito, and yung mga reproductive areas mo nandito sa part na ito. So basically, um, may mga regions sa body ng isang animal. So, ang purpose niya, breed and animal identification. So, kung alam mo yung itsura, like for example, alam mo yung itsura nitong mammalian, then automatic na alam mo na kung ano yung like for example, sex nito, kung alam mo yung itsura ng ulo ng isang, like for example, ang Lunubian na kambing, then ma-distinguish mo na ang Lunubian yun ang Lunubian yun na breed. Okay? Aside from that, health, injury, and disease assessment, pag alam mo yung normal na itsura or structure ng isang, like for example, ulo or yung other niya or yung kanyang neck, and tapos, pag nakita mo is abnormal na yung itsura, then you can assess na mayroong disease or injury siya. Then, when it comes naman sa determining body condition score, ang ibig sabihin ng body condition score, that is a set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As score 1, score 2, score 3, score 4, score 5. So, malalaman mo yung body condition score. By the way, yung the best body condition score is around 3, yung nasa middle. Pag nasa 1 kasi, medyo thin. Pag nasa 5 naman, medyo mataba yung animal. So, dapat nasa middle lang. So, yan. Then, aside from that, selection and culling decision. So, kung alam mo yung normal na structure or itsura ng isang baboy na healthy, then madidistinguish mo siya sa unhealthy. So, you can select and you can cull. Pag sinabi kasing cull, nilalabas mo or nire-remove mo. Okay? Then, communication using standard anatomical terms. Basically, kahit saan region ka pa ng bansa or kahit saan ka pa part ng globe, if we have standard anatomical terms, then, ano mo, magkakaintindihan kayo. Yun. So, um, ito naman yung mga general regions of the body. So, like for example, sa head, yung mga regions natin, ito yan. Head, neck, forelimbs, trunks, hind limbs, and tail regions. And ito naman yung, sa right side naman, ito yung mga common external parts nila. Like for example, sa head, ano nga ba yung mga nakikita mo sa head? You have your eyes, your ears, your muscles, mga ganyan. Sa neck naman, throat, julap, mga ganyan. Okay? So, sa forelimbs, you have your shoulder, elbow. So, sa trunk naman, withers, back loins, Hind limbs, pag sinabing hind limbs, yung mga limbs or yung mga nasa likod. Pag sinabing forelimbs, yun yung mga um, nasa harap. And then you have your tail regions. So, sa bovine naman, yan. So, I will not go over all of it. Pero, ito yung mga major parts nila. And ito yung mga location nila. So, ipapakita ko mamaya yung parang itsura ng external anatomy ng isang cattle. Pero, you need to identify kung saan ba yung pool, saan ba yung julap, yung feeders, yung ramp, yung switch, yung udder, at saka yung hock. Okay? So, like for example, yung julap, yun yung loose skin under the neck. Yung makikita dito na malaki. So, that's the julap. Pag sinabi namang withers, yun yung nasa shoulder blades. Dito sa may shoulder blades nila. So, pag sinabing switch, yun yung parang mabuhok na part ng tail ng isang cattle. So, yan. Pag sinabi namang other and teats, yun yung for milk production. Yun yung kung saan naglalactate or sumususo yung mga calf natin. Okay? Yan yung external anatomy. You can pause the video lecture so that you can identify all of this or you can memorize, kumbaga, or familiarize yourself dito sa external anatomy nila. So, expect a quiz wherein, iano ko yan, yung tawag nito, i-remove ko yung mga parts niya, yung mga parts and then kayo yung mag-identify. Okay? So please memorize or familiarize yourself dito sa mga external anatomy. Then ito naman sa swine external anatomy. So yan, you have your snout, your jaw, your hum, your jaw close, underline, pasterns. So basically yung snout yun yung nose niya. Used for routing, ano nga ba, and sensing. Basically, ginagamit ng baboy ito for, especially yung mga wild pigs noon. Kasi sila yung, kumbaga, nagfo-forage ng mga roots, ng mga, more specifically, mga truffle, na mga mushroom, kumbaga. So, ginagamit nila yung snout nila. Then, you have yung jaw. Yung jaw mo is yung cheek region, basically, dito sa part na to. Then you have your ham. So kung mahilig kayong kumain ng ham, it is derived from yung part ng swine natin. Jugulose is yung sa paa niya, yung paganon sa paa niya. Underline is yung mga nasa teats. Pag sinabing teats, uh, basically, they suso na. And then you have your pastor. So, kung titignan, yan naman yung external anatomy ng swine. So, you can pause the video para ma-familiarize and memorize again itong swine external anatomy. So, sinasabi ko na ngayon that you cannot fully appreciate yung external anatomy ng isang swine if you cannot uh, observe it in person. Kaya nga, meron kayong laboratory for that. So, yan. Pero yung sinasabi ko dito, or pinapakita ko na dito sa lecture ninyo, as your instructor sa lecture ninyo, na ganyan yung itsura, and yan yung mga parts ng isang baboy. So, again, please pause it para ma-familiarize or memorize itong swine external anatomy. Then, you have your goats and sheep. Basically, pinagsama ko na kasi more or less, aside from some yung fleece or wool niya, medyo magkapareha sila ng anatomy. Okay? So, you have your pool, your wattles, your rump and duck, your other scrotum, your forearm or legs. Yung pool dyan, yan yung nasa, sa top ng head ng isang kambing. Kumbaga aligus-gus na kung saan tutubo yung horns. Okay? Then, wattles naman, fleshy skin appendages near the throat. It can be absent. Rump and duck, yun yung nasa tail niya. Other or scrotum naman, yun yung mga reproductive structures para makita mo kung sino yung lalaki or sino yung babae. And then forearm and legs. Yun yung nasa, yung legs niya and sa forearm. So ito naman, yung goat external anatomy. So again, pause. And ito naman yung sheep external anatomy. Okay? Then ito naman sa quail, chicken, duck, quail external anatomy. Yan. You have your comb, yung wattle, your beak, eyes, feathers, cloaca, shank, spur. So, yan naman, mga yan. Makikita dyan naman kung saan yung wattles, so yung comb, tapingar, yung wattles dito sa part na to. Hackles is yung mga feathers dito. Ito yung wings, vent, kung saan or cloaca, kung saan lalabas yung ipot or itlog, mga ganyan. Okay? And then, ito naman sa duck. Sa quail, ay hindi ko nalagay yung quail, pero you can search sa internet for the quails natin. And then ito, ang external anatomy ng duck natin. So with that, let's go doon sa anatomical planes and directional terms in farm animals. Pag sinabing anatomical planes, hindi mo talaga siya makikita. Okay? Hindi mo siya makikita na linya. These are imaginary. Kaya nga sinabi dito, imaginary flat surfaces used to divide the bodies into section. Okay? So, bakit ba kailangan ng mga anatomical planes? These are important because when you are describing yung locations of yung mga injuries, mga incisions, or yung mga anatomical parts, ginagamit mo yung anatomical plane. Like for example, it is median, meaning it is near the near the middle of the body of the animal, parang ganun. Okay? So, ito yan. Ito yung mga anatomical na planes natin. So, before ipakita ko yung picture, let's first describe. Pag sinabing median plane, divides the body into equal right and left halves. So, wala kasi akong ano. So, sabihin na lang natin itong phone ko. Yan. So, pag dinivide mo yan, dito sa middle, that's your equal left and right. Okay? So, yan yung ibig sabihin ng median pag dinivide mo siya doon sa gitna. So, that's your equal right and left halves. Basta sa gitna mo siya i-divide. Pag sinabi namang sagittal planes, divide si body into an equal right and left section. So, pag sinabing sagittal, unequal. So, meaning baka doon sa right side mas madami or mas malawak or baka sa left side mas malawak, basta unequal sila. Yun yung kabaliktaran kumbaga ng median. Sa median kasi sa middle talaga and then madidivide mo sila equal parts. Pag sinabi namang transverse plane, divides the body in the front and rear part. So basically, pag nasa four legs yung cellphone, i-divide niya dito. Dito niya i-divide. So you have your front and then you have your rear. Okay? So, pag sinabing median, dito inukuha, dito i-cut na, dito tenga. So, you have your left and then your right side. Pag sinabing transverse plane, dito i-cut na dito, you have your front and then you have your rear. Pag sinabi namang frontal plane, divides the body into top and bottom. Dito, sa part na to naman. Ikakat niya dito sa side para ma-divide mo siya ng top at saka bottom. Okay? So, yan yung ibig sabihin ng mga anatomical planes natin. So, kung titignan natin dito, yan. Again, pag sinabing median, yung nasa gitna para ma-divide niya ng left and right. Pag sinabi namang um, tawag to, pag sinabing transverse plane naman, i-divide niya into the front and back. And pag sinabi namang frontal plane, ito, dinidivide niya into um, back and bottom. Okay, so Yan yung mga anatomical planes natin. Then, pag sinabi namang directional terms, these are used to describe the location of the body parts relative to each other. So, please listen carefully to this. Pag sinabing cranial, it is towards the head. So, meaning, if yung tanong sa exam is true or false, pag sinabi kong is the shoulder, tong shoulder na to, cranial to the back, ang sagot dyan is true. Bakit true? Kasi nga, pag sinabing cranial, towards the head, or basically, yung clue dyan is kung sino yung mas malapit doon sa ulo, that's your cranial. Dapat siya yung unang mababasa mo. So, kumbaga, the shoulder is cranial to the back. So, meaning yung shoulder is near the head or towards the head. So, true mo kwa. So, false is una if ang statement is the back, itong back na to, is cranial to the shoulder. False na yon. Bakit false? Kasi nga, sino yung mas malapit doon sa ulo? Si si back ba or si shoulder? Si back ay si shoulder. Kaya nga false yung statement na yon. Again, ulitin ko, pag tinanong kayo, the shoulder is cranial to the back, that is true. Okay? Kasi nga mas malapit si shoulder doon sa ulo. Pag yung statement is the back is cranial to the shoulder, that is false. Kasi mas malayo naman si back doon sa ulo compared doon kay shoulder. Okay? So I hope na naiintindihan. Pag sinabi namang caudal, it is towards the back. So again, pag sinabing caudal towards the back, so same example, pag yung sa statement ng true or false, the back, itong back na to, is caudal to the shoulder, that is true. Bakit? Kasi si likod, mas towards siya sa tail, towards the tail pala yung caudal. So, si back is mas malapit siya doon sa tail compared kay shoulder. Kaya nga, it is true. Okay? Pag sinabi naman sa statement, the the shoulder is caudal to the back, that is false. Bakit? Kasi nga mas malayo naman si shoulder doon sa tail compared mo kay back. Sino ba yung mas malapit dito? Itong nasa likod niya compared dito sa shoulder. Okay? So, yan yung pagkakaiba. Pag sinabi namang dorsal, towards the back, yan, dorsal. Pag sinabing ventral, pababa, towards the ground. Okay? So, another example, kumbaga, the belly is ventral to the back. Dito buksit na. So, true or false? That is true. Kasi sino yung mas malapit sa ground? Si belly niya. Belly ng kabayo compared doon sa likod niya. Okay? The back is dorsal to the belly. True or false? That is true. Because sino yung mas malapit doon sa likod ng horse? That is basically your back or yung rib cage kung namlatan. Okay? So, yan yung mga directional terms. And then, ito naman yung mga um, iba pa. So, alam na natin yung cranial and caudal, yung dorsal and ventral. Pag sinabing medial, towards the midline of the body. And kabaliktaran niya is lateral, away from the midline. So, kumbaga, I have here your arm. Pag sinabing midline, dito iti midline mo. So, my shoulder is near the midline. That is true. Okay? Kasi um, is medial. The shoulder is medial to the forearm. That is true. Bakit? Kasi yung shoulder ko, mas malapit siya dito sa median plane compared dito sa forearm ko. Okay? The forearm is lateral to the shoulder. That is correct. Kasi mas malayo si forearm dito sa median ko. Okay? Then you have yung proximal and distal naman. Pag sinabing proximal, closer to the point of attachment. Pag sinabing distal, away, farther from the point of attachment. Basically, ang ano lang dito, laging isipin when it comes to proximal and distal, pag sinabing proximal, malapit doon sa point of reference. Pag sinabing distal, malayo. Then you have superficial and deep. Pag sinabing superficial, basically yung mga buhok dito sa forearms, these are surface, sa surface. Pag sinabi namang deep is nasa loob, away from the surface or internal. Then you have your palmar and plantar. Pag sinabing palmar, caudal surface of the forelimb below the carpus. Caudal plantar naman, surface of the hind limbs below the hock. Okay, so palmar sa forelimb, plantar sa hind limbs. Okay, so those are your directional terms. When it comes to an example, like for example, a swelling is located on the dorsolateral surface of the neck. So paano mo i-interpret ito? The swelling is on the upper side. Bakit upper side? Kasi dorso. Pag sinabing dorso, towards the back. So nasa taas. And away from the midline. Bakit away from the midline? Kasi nga lateral. Pag sinabing lateral, malayo dun sa midline. Okay, so naintindihan yung mga application ng mga directional terms. So another one, an incision was made on the ventral midline of the abdomen. So paano natin i-interpret yan? A cut was made on the underside. Bakit underside? Kasi nga ventral, towards the back, dito yung underside niya. Directly on the belly center line. Sa center line daw. Bakit center line? Kasi nga midline. So meaning, meron binutawan da, jebuksit na, ijiteng nga. Okay? Parang ganun. Then, the stifle joint is proximal to the hock. So, meaning, yung stifle mo is closer to the body than the hock. So, dito yung part ng hock, dito naman yung stifle joint mo, so it is closer to the body. Lesions on the distal lateral forelimb. So, paano natin i-interpret yan? The lesion is far from the body. Bakit far from the body? Kasi nga distal. Then towards the outside of the limb. Bakit towards the outside of the limb? Kasi nga lateral. Okay? So those are your interpretation when it comes to the directional terms. Then for that, ano ba yung importance of knowing external anatomy in farm animal management? So, yan yung importance. Basically, it is for health assessment. So, we can detect yung wounds, yung swelling, deformities quickly if we know the external anatomy. Then, animal selection, we can identify desirable traits in breeding, feeding management, handling and restraint, identification, and veterinary care. So, all of these um, is parang connected siya sa external anatomy. Kasi pag alam mo kung saan mo malolocate or ma-identify yung mga different parts, then you can actually manage them properly, you can handle them properly, you can identify them correctly, and then you can provide the care that it needs. Okay, so that's the importance. Okay, so with that ends our video lecture, the second video lecture. So I hope na meron kayong natutunan, expect at least again for this, and then expect a long exam covering all of this. So again, thank you for listening.